Hey Flosstube, this is Christy, the Raving Cross Stitcher. Welcome back to my channel. If you are one of my subscribers, if you're brand new, hi, hello, welcome. I'm Christy, I'm a cross stitcher. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. This is my channel where I mostly talk about cross stitch. Today is Monday, October 30th. It is Halloween Eve. I am dressing up as a witch for Halloween. This is the hat I'll be wearing. My costume, I'm not putting that on right now, but it's a black Renaissance dress with, I don't know what they call the low over thing, but it's blue. I might post a picture of my setup tomorrow on my Instagram account on Halloween. Pretty much, if you're brand new here, I live in Okinawa, Japan. My husband's active duty military. We live what's called the Towers, which is pretty much like apartment complex on a U.S. military base. We have hallways and elevators. So last year it worked out where I just had a table in front of my door and I had all the candy and everything on the table, just so people weren't knocking and ringing the doorbell all the time. I just got my chair, the one I'm sitting on right now, I rolled it out there and I just sat down and actually talked to my neighbors because they're doing the same thing. Like, they weren't planning on it, but they saw how I had my table set up and they came and joined me. So if that happens again this year, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. The neighbors we had last year, they moved. So I don't know what's gonna happen this year. But my plan is to sit out there again. But I put a lot more decorations out there this year, so I will take a picture of everything once I have it all set up, and I'll post it to my Instagram account, which is Crafting with Christy, Crafting with a K, Christy with a K. I'll put a link in the description box below if you want to go check it out. Okay, moving on. WIPGO. WIPGO numbers came out for October. They came out a few days ago. Yes, so for October, before I go into November, let me go to October. October, numbers called were number 14 and 19. I'm looking at my computer to, yes, okay. So October numbers were 14 and 19. I completed 4 of my goals. One of them I did not complete, which was my number 14 on my BAPS board. Wizard Alley, which is this one right here. This one was also called in September and I was not feeling it. I tried and I couldn't stitch on it. So for October, I told myself if I can do 2,000, well, not 2,000, if I can just finish the building in the middle. So it's 3 shops right here on the top part. I already did the first one, so I told myself if I can finish the middle one, then that's fine. I'll be happy with that. I did complete it. My starting stitch was 7,224 stitches. Here's a picture of what that looked like. And here's my stop at 9,220 stitches, so just under 2,000 stitches. Is it gonna focus? I hope it's focusing. Okay, I hope that worked. If you want better pictures, again, my Instagram account or my Facebook page, I'll put a link in the description box below if you want to go check that out. I do have albums in my Facebook page where it has all my whips, and I do try to keep them in order and upload updates as often as I can remember, which my memory is really bad, so I do try my best though. Number 19 was also called for October. Number 19 was Wizard Game, which is right here next to it. These two are from the same seller on Etsy, so that's why they kind of look a little bit similar. Wizard Game, Wizard Alley are referencing to Quidditch and Diagon Alley, in case you're wondering. So for Wizard Game, my start was 14,303 stitches. And I stopped at 17,308 stitches. So I did just barely over 3,000 stitches, completing my goal. Moving on to my small board. Number, oh geez, I forgot the numbers. Okay, number 14 on my small board was Hogwarts in a Bottle. That's gonna be this one down here. My start was 3,627 stitches, and here's a picture of what that used to look like. And here is my stop at 5,642 stitches. My goal for this was 2,000 stitches, and I did complete it. I'm trying to, yeah, there we go. Okay, number 19 was Mickey and Minnie kit. That's gonna be this one right here. This is a kit I do not have out on Pattern Keeper, so I cannot tell you how many stitches I did on it exactly. So I just kind of counted out 20 squares. If you notice, I have squares on all my whips. Each square is 10 by 10, so if I do 20 of them, that's 2,000 stitches. So that's how I calculated this. Here is a picture of my start. And here's my stop. Yeah. But roughly my goal was just to come down to this line and go across. So that's where I'm at. I'm just about, actually no, I'm at halfway. So this is the halfway point for this whip. I'm loving this, but the only thing I'm not loving is all the 1/4 and 3/4 stitches. There's a lot of them in here, and that is taking me some time to do. Okay, so that was October. Moving on to November. Numbers called were number 3 and number 8. Alright, I already have my whips already piled right in front of me, so I'm just gonna go in order by what's in front of me. So on top is number 8, All Aboard the Hogwarts Express. That's gonna be this one right here. And this is my start. 6,896 stitches. Okay, number 3 is the Great Hall. My start is 7,240 stitches. For my BAPS board, my number 3 is my Mini Wisdom Heaven Earth Designs. My start is 17,183 stitches. Number 8 is the Harry Potter book cover, and I'm starting at 12,856 stitches. Okay, I'm running out of space to put these. Okay, so that is it for my WIPGO October and November numbers. I do have other whips that I've been working on. I even have a finish, finally. I think this is my first finish for the year. Actually, no, I lied. I had another finish earlier this year. It was a gift for my niece who got married. So I think this is the second finish for the year. This is a Hogwarts or Welcome to Hogwarts School. So this one's a set of 4, and it came with this one plus 2 more. This one, I started it 3, maybe 4 years ago, and finally got around to finishing it. If you can tell, this month I found my stitchy bug. It was missing for a while, it was MIA, and now it's back, and I finished this one. It's done, yay, finally. So I will be ironing this later and putting it away. Another WIP I've been working on is my Welcome to Disneyland. This one is probably, it's not the oldest, but it's one of the older WIPs I've been working on. I purchased this chart 9-10 years ago on Etsy. It was the first PDF I ever purchased. So yeah, like I've been working on this on and off for years, but I am finally now very close, oops, to finishing it. I'm sorry, I hit my mouse when I put the paper down and my computer did stuff. I'm sorry, I'm very easily distracted. So yeah, so here is my Tinkerbell progress. I'm very close to finishing. This probably will be my next finish. I just need to fill in this part, and that's pretty much it. So close to being done. Okay, so I was in the middle of editing this video, and then I realized I need to redo one part of it, but I had an appointment to go get my hair cut, so now I got my hair cut and I'm back. I decided to redo this part of the video again. So today is the 31st, it's Halloween. How are you guys doing? It's a new day, and yeah. I was born with gray hair. I was born with this gray streak of hair. And I am easily distracted by everything, including myself. I'm sorry. So the clip that I wanted to redo, it is my new WIP. I just started this past month. But it's a WIP that I've been thinking about all year. Let me explain. Next summer we will be moving back to the States. I live in Okinawa, Japan. We've been here for 2 years, not quite 2.5 years yet. But yeah, our time here is almost up. We're getting ready to go. We don't know where we're going yet. It's either Camp Pendleton, California, or Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. Those are our 2 options. My husband and I are both from San Diego, so California's home. We'll be a lot closer to family. But the first time we were in North Carolina, we completely fell in love with it. We were there for 4 years. 2 of our kids were born there. It's very different. And I do kind of miss it. Like in San Diego, we have, you know, nice palm trees and really good weather. Like there's no difference between summer and winter. Actually there is. Summer is like the high 70s and winter is like the low 70s. The weather year round is pretty good in San Diego. Like we're really lucky. But in North Carolina they actually have a thing called seasons, and trees, they change colors. Like palm trees don't change colors. So that was like one of the first things I really noticed the first fall. Living in North Carolina, just all the trees, how they all turn like yellow and then orange and brown, and it was nice. It was not something I was used to, but it was lovely. Anyways, I really got sidetracked. Going back to the cross stitch, because this is our last full year in Okinawa, I wanted to do a temperature cell. So I've been thinking about it since like January, February. I found a website that has temperatures every day for the last, I don't know how many years it goes back, but you just put in the year, you put in the month, and it'll give you the temperatures, the high and lows for every single day. So I've been doing just like the highs of Okinawa. So every like 2-3 weeks I would go on that website, and then I had a spreadsheet that was keeping everything organized in, and I would just kind of update it with wherever I last left off. So I, about a month or 2 ago, started looking for cells, or temperature cells. There's quite a few of them out there. I know I've seen people doing the past few years. There's the flower ones, there's trees, butterflies, and all these other ones. But a few months back, I saw a different one on Facebook, I believe. Someone was stitching on a magical potion cell. And, you know, everything I stitch on this channel is Harry Potter related. So I think magical potion temperature cell would work perfectly, like in a potion class or something. So I decided to work on this. the magic potion temperature cell. That's a lot of words. So this is what I am doing. This is what I'm working on. But I did change it up a little bit. Intentionally, I changed up the fabric. This one, you can see it's like on a darker black Aida. A few other people who are working on this are also doing this on the black Aida. I have a love-hate relationship with black Aida. I do not want to work with black Aida. Like, I've tried so many times in the past, not too happy with it. So I decided to switch it up for an ivory. And then as I was stitching the first few bottles, I made a huge mistake. Like 3-4 bottles in, I realized I made a mistake, but I stepped back, I took a look at it, and I was like, I like the way this looks. So I'm gonna keep going that mistake. So what is it? For each one of the colors, there's 4 different colors, like 4 different purples, greens, blue. Each one has 4 colors. So number 1 originally is supposed to be the lightest color, and then number 4 is supposed to be the darker one. I am an idiot and accidentally switched those over. So my number 1 is dark and number 4 is light. Which, yeah, that was a mistake. But because I switched up the fabric and I'm doing a lighter fabric rather than a darker one, it's actually looking pretty good. And after doing quite a few of them, I'm still like halfway through January. I'm loving the way it's coming out right now, and I'm going to keep doing it. So yes, I am abundantly aware that I'm doing it wrong, but I like it, and I'm going to keep going this way. So here is where I'm at so far with this one. And why do I like it? You can see the dark purple, the details in there, and then this dark green here, it stands out. If I was to do the light shade on this with this fabric, especially this green part right here, the light green would have been lost with this lighter fabric. So it's a good thing I am doing the darker one instead. The detail just stands out more. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. I'm going to continue working on this. Side note, I do have a list of WIPs that I'll be working on for 2024. I will not be participating in WIPGO for 2024 just because I got so much stuff going on with the move and everything that I'm not going to be able to keep up with WIPGO at all. As much as I would love to, and I've been enjoying myself, and I had a few ideas of stuff to do. It just puts on too much pressure on me to try to stitch when I also have things going on. I already started packing up things. You probably don't notice the things behind these black and white boxes. They've already been boxed up. We're getting ready for the move. So yeah, so all that just say, I'm not participating in WIPGO next year. So for November, I've already kind of started. I put about 50 stitches in this piece yesterday. Not that much because I had a bunch of other stuff I had to do first. I haven't started stitching on it yet today. Today's Halloween, so there's trick-or-treaters tonight. So there's stuff I have to do. I'm putting out a table. I need to decorate and everything else, and there's low lights. I need to put batteries in and stuff. So I probably won't get any stitching done today. I was hoping to get some more in, but I had my hair appointment and stuff, like life. I will stitch on it definitely if I can right now after I have lunch, because I haven't eaten yet either. And then stitch on it tomorrow. Once I'm done with my WIPGO for November, it doesn't matter if I do it 3 weeks from now. I will come back. I'll do a WIPGO a week or two early. With order of elimination, we already know what the last numbers for December's is. I will come back and do a WIPGO for December prior to December. What's going on? My mom and stepdad and my niece are coming to visit in December. They already got the tickets. They're coming out here. When I have family come and visit, especially that they're coming all the way to Japan to visit us, I normally don't stitch while they're here. Last year, my mom and stepdad were here for a month. I did not stitch at all during that month because, you know, I'm the host. I have to entertain my guests. And I can't be really cross-stitching and ignoring them as much as I want to. I don't do that. So, I already know when they're here, I'm not going to be cross-stitching. So that's why I want to knock out December and finish those as soon as possible. Wrap up WIPGO 2023. And then I'll also do maybe a whip parade for 2024. I have certain whips I'm already setting aside. These are whips that I'm not going to pack up right away. Some of them are some of my larger whips, which in the video you'll see which ones. They're already kitted up. They're good to go. I don't have to buy any more threads or anything for them. My goals for my larger whips, I'm not going to complete. That's not my goal. My goal is just to get some stitches in. I probably will not be doing Flosstube for a few months in the beginning of next year, just because I have too much stuff going on. I will still continue doing time-lapse videos. It's just doing this video, like, it's taking me already 2 days just to film this, so I won't be doing that. I will focus more on just time-lapse videos, and that's it. So you won't see my face for a while. What else? There's something else. Oh, there's also, I got a few questions on my videos. The last month or two, I got quite a few questions almost similar to one another, all pertaining to my threading method, technique, parking, everything about the threads. First question was what's my parking method? This is a question I've answered quite a few times, and I try to explain it. For me, how I park my threads makes sense, but after reflecting on that question a bit more, I've realized that I have no method. I have ADHD. I have a disorder. If you see my time-lapse videos, and if you notice, I hyperfixate on a certain section or certain area, and then I suddenly stop that area and I move on to the next one. I'm easily distracted, so like if I see something off in the little corner, I'll stop what I'm doing over here and work on that over there. That pertains to every aspect of my life, not just cross stitch. You can ask my husband. I can go the whole day clean the house and still not being clean because I get distracted. I start doing laundry, and then I see that there's dishes that also need to be washed, and then I accidentally spill something on the floor and I have to mop that up, and then I start mopping like half of the kitchen when I realize I didn't put the groceries away from earlier, so I have to reorganize the pantry because of the stuff I just bought. And then I realize that the paper towels needs to be changed, and then I go and realize the trash can needs to be taken out. And everything's like half done, and I leave the rest there. And it wasn't me who pointed it out at first. One time it was my husband. I didn't realize he was observing me the whole day, and he pointed it out that I'm doing a lot of things at the same time. I'm getting nothing done. So yeah, that's how I stitch. I go from one thing to another to another to another, and then back to the first thing sometimes. And then if I get tired of the whip, I will take it off and put something else on there. That's why I have so many time-lapse videos right now. You see, like, there's a bunch of them because I hyper fixate on one whip and then I jump to the next. That's just how I am. That's how I stitch. That's how, yeah, it's not, my stitching parking technique method is just a disorder. ADHD. Yeah, for the most part, I do make sure all my threads, I'm going to use this one as an example, I do make sure they're all out of my way. I move them out of here. And another question I got was, do I leave my needles parked in my threads? Yes. You can see that's a needle, that's a needle, this is a needle. I feel like it's too time consuming. So, for the most part, I do leave my needles on my threads if I'm working on the whip. Like this one, I'm gonna keep working on this and focusing on this until either we move and I have to pack it up, or until it's finished. So for this one particular, because of that, I'm gonna leave the needles on threads as I'm working on it. If I was to put a whip away, for example, this one, this was called for way earlier in the year and now it's called again. If I store this and take it off the frame, I do not keep the needles on there. One reason why is because I put these in Ziploc bags. If I stick my hand in the bag to try to pull this out, I'm going to stab myself with the needle. You don't want that to happen. Another thing is, a few years ago, I did accidentally leave a few needles on a whip. Put a whip in the bag, put the bag somewhere back here, forgot about it for a couple of years, pulled it out, and the needle was rusted. The thread had rust all over it, and so did the fabric. So I do not store my whips with needles in there. I do take the needles off and then I wind the threads on a bobbin. This bobbin does help keep the threads organized, neat, and reduces the amount of tangles in the threads. So yeah, this is how I store them. No needles, but on a bobbin. I am currently out of bobbins. I think I have too many whips I'm working on. I need to reduce the number of whips and maybe buy a few more bobbins. But yeah, that's pretty much how I store them and how I use my needles and everything else. What else was there? There's another question. Needle minders, that was the other question. Someone called them buttons. Yeah, I can see. If you can't see this in the videos, you can call that a button. I get it. I'm gonna call them buttons from now on. My little buttons, needle minders. They are really, really, really great. They hold needles. These ones I made myself. The pumpkin ones that you see, I made myself. It's like half my needle minders I made myself, the other half I bought them. So this I made it out of resin. After it hardened, I put the magnet on there. This one, I like this one because it has like a little V shape, so the needles kind of cradle in that little spot. Can you see that? Let's see if I can get my camera to focus. It's trying to focus on my face, not my hands. Nope, focus on my hands. Okay. There we go. So there's a needle on there. You can shake it around, move it around. I try to use really good strong magnets so they don't fall. You can actually bump it a couple times. It's not gonna fall off. It'll move. But the needle's still there. So it holds your needles. I have a whole row of needle minders up. You can't really see it in my videos when I'm doing time lapse. But I have a whole row of just like a bunch of needles. I have lots and lots and lots of needles. About 8 years ago, I purchased maybe 1,000 needles. I haven't gone through all of them yet. I haven't had to buy any needles in the last 8 years because I have so many. So that's the one way I use needle minders. Another way is, let me undo this. Sometimes these little thread ends, when I have a thread parked, get in my way while I'm stitching. So sometimes I will tuck it and wrap it around the needle minder so it's out of my way, and the thread is back here somewhere. So I don't have to worry about that. The ends are secured and out of my way. Another way I use it is, I don't know if you can see this. I think my light's too bright. Hold on. Okay. So let's say I have a thread. I'm stitching an area, and one of these threads I have parked is in the way. I just tuck it underneath the needle minder, tug on the thread, and it's been pulled out of my way. I didn't pull the right one. There we go. And I can just kind of pull this to make sure the thread is not, like if I'm stitching what's it right here, if I'm stitching this area and that thread was in my way, I just tuck it behind the needle minder and it's not out of my way. I can continue stitching on here and not have to worry about that one. So multiple uses for needle minders. Another way I use my needle minders, let me pull this back up again. The last way I use my needle minders, when I'm recording on my camera, I'm not sure if you can see my camera right here, but there is a tiny screen. Let me, okay, so this is my camera right here. There's a tiny screen right here. I cannot see the details of what I'm stitching on the camera, because if I'm working on this little area, I have the light shining. So sometimes I cannot see this as well as you can when you're watching the video. So what I do is I have needle minders. I never put two needle minders similar to each other, next to each other, so that when I'm looking at the tiny screen, I can see this orange one. I can see this robe shaped one. I can see this one over here. And I know, okay, if I can see this one and I can see this one in my camera on that little screen, I know you can see what I'm stitching in this area. So I know my camera is getting what I want it to record. So that's why you see so many needle minders on my WIP, even though I'm not using it for holding threads or for needles. They're just random. Yes, they're there to look pretty, but also that's how I use my cameras and how I use the needle minders to mark what you can see when you're watching the video. So, yeah. And I think that is it for the questions. Again, if you have any questions you want to ask, don't hesitate to ask. Put it in the comments down below, or if you feel more comfortable putting it like a private DM, I will have my Instagram page in the description box, so you can send me a private DM there if you want, if you feel more comfortable with that. Some people have done that in the past, and I'm totally fine with that. I think that's it. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, happy stitching. Bye.